So we started our FAM journey. I'm pretty sure that I found out about FAM through one of my neuroblastoma friends. So I've been a long-time lurker. Haven't really done much. I've done like the quiet fundraisers, but I don't think we really shared much because it's like I feel like we have a lot of family around us. So I feel like we are on the side of we have people around us. You know, I really want to cheer on everyone else and whatever we can do to support you guys. Pryce was diagnosed in 2018 with stage 4 neuroblastoma. Just like you were saying, like they don't catch it till it's already like everywhere. You know the doc where they just like tell you the chances are just not very good, but you still just throw everything at it. I don't know why I'm crying because I have a happy ending, so surprise. So he did the rounds of chemo, the surgery. They scan afterwards. He was refractory, which kind of understood what that meant. Like treatment wasn't working, so they started doing some new treatment things, which is amazing. Where they do chemo and immunotherapy together. It cleared him for the next stage, so we were like, okay, maybe he's gonna beat this. This is good. So he does the 2 stem cell transplants, which, oh my goodness, those Facebook groups are like a blessing and a curse, am I right? Like you hear so many good stories, but then you also hear like all the things that can happen, so you're just like ready for it all. So you're just like not living for like life, you're just living for the next horrible thing to happen. He makes it through that, goes on to radiation, we scan again, and it's like the first clear scan, so we're just like overjoyed. This is like, we get to be part of the 30% that makes it through. It's like, this is amazing. So we were just like looking forward to celebrating his, Make-A-Wish trip, and we were just so excited that he was going to meet Mickey and all this stuff. And then 3 months later, when we did the scans again, he had a spot on his skull, and we're like, okay, one spot, okay. So his team wanted him to just finish his treatment and then kind of go from there, because it cycles back through to immunotherapy again. So they're like, he did really well in immunotherapy. This time it's just by itself, so it's going to be, his body can just focus on that one thing and not also have to deal with the chemo. And so he was done. He was done with his treatment plan. January 2020, and like that at the end of that month he was just getting like these weird headaches and he was just throwing up, and they're like, oh, it's this medication, it makes the kids sick, bring him in, we'll give him some fluids, it's probably just he's dehydrated. So we take him in, they're like, if he doesn't get better with the fluids, take him to the ER because it's obviously something else. Of course that happened. So that day he was that's Friday, he had his first bit of throw up before bedtime, and by that Sunday we were like, this is not good. So we took him in, we went to the ER at our hospital, and they did a CT, and they're just like, we're just gonna do this, we don't, just to kind of rule stuff out. And the ER doc, he's like, look, I'm not a radiologist, I can't officially read anything, but you need to see this. You need to be prepared. And it was a golf ball-sized tumor in his brain. It was just like, that's great. It's just, once neuroblastoma spreads to the brain, it's just, there's treatment, but it's a toss-up. So we already knew, if something happened, there's only one hospital that has a specialized treatment for it. So we're in Michigan, so we knew we need to get to New York because that's the only chance. So the surgery goes really well, and he doesn't know any different. He's 4. He didn't know that something major just happened, except we're all puffy and just how are you feeling? And so he is back running around, and he thinks life is great. And then go to New York. We start doing all the chemo and the radiation. He had full, like, the brain and spine just, like, completely nuked. And we get to New York and they're like, hey, you know, you're a great candidate. He's going to do really well, but we want you to do some of our immunotherapy first just to make sure there's no, like, lingering cells anywhere. So we do a couple rounds of that. We do the normal scans. And same thing, like, middle of scan day, they just, like, shut everything down. He was supposed to have a bone marrow biopsy and, like, the whole round of scans. And they're just like, there's just no point. The cancer is back, like, from the neck down, just everywhere. So they sent us home and they said, you know, you have these options. But basically, because the cancer is moving so fast, you only have one choice. And if it works, you know, there's a good chance you can make it. If it doesn't, then start making memories. He's the youngest of 5. So for the siblings to be watching him go through this is just, I think that's been one of the harder parts as a parent, just seeing, like, it's not just the kid in treatment, but it's the other kids in the house that just, like, they want to be strong for their siblings and be strong for us. And so, we went home and our team in Michigan was just like, okay, he did really well at that one treatment, so we're going to do it again. So he started doing that again. And the folks in New York are like, he still has to finish the protocol for the brain relapse. So the teams kind of got together and they're like, look, if he clears the rest of his body, then he can go back and finish that. So, you know, only by the grace of God, it cleared him, and they got us back to New York and finished that. And so he has 2 more rounds left, and he's clear. He's been clear. This is the first time he's had clear scans, and 2 in a row. So he's been clear for 3 months, and he has 2 more rounds, and we're gonna scan again. And it seems so weird to be like, end of treatment scans? Is this really it? It just seems very surreal. And so when I see Tracy, I don't know if you guys know Malcolm. You guys know Malcolm? So seeing him go through exactly what Pryce is going through is just, it's heartbreaking, and I wish I could be there for her because I know what you guys know what it's like. It's just awful, and they're strong, and I pray for them. But anyway, so Pryce might actually get to ring the bell, and we're kind of in that weird, we should be happy, but why don't we feel happy phase? But maybe we'll get there.